Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Worship Church Live. What's up, people? What's up, people? Welcome to Worship Church Live with Pastor Fuzz. All right. What's going on? Who's there? How y'all doing? Hope that you had well, I guess I should be saying good afternoon. But what's up, people? I hope you had a good morning. I and my wife, my lovely wife, Rachel, went to visit a church called Heartland this morning, and it was very good. It was good, and I'm not just saying that because they may be watching. They're not watching. They don't know. They don't know who was there. I mean, there's a few people there. They didn't know I was there. But it looks like Alicia. What's going on, Alicia? I see you. What's going on, girl? How you doing? All right. Nice to have you join me this morning or afternoon. And hope for happy birthday. You were one of the birthday people that I was talking about this month for happy birthday. What do you hold, 21 now? Yeah, right now you're at the 21 stage, and then a little while from now you'll hit the 29 stage. And then at that point, I won't be around, but you'll hit the 35 stage, and then that'll be the last time you age. Just want you to know. But anyway, so this morning, this afternoon, we are talking about continuing the message of truth. If you haven't seen the messages prior to, and you got to forgive me, like I said, I just got back, so you know what time it is, don't you? If you've been watching. Yes, it's that time. So we've been talking about wisdom, knowledge, and truth. And it is the tools in the toolbox that we carry. And Alicia, I have made so many references to you and Jared over these messages. If you haven't seen them already, I have made so many references to y'all coming out and helping and working and being a great part of a team of people who minister to other people. And I did talk about all the tools that Jared brought. And I did talk about how all the tools that he brought were right, because we're talking about having the right tools at the right time. So here's the deal, just to catch everybody up. So the right tools for the job is the series, and we're in this week of which tools we are going to put in our tool belt. We have a toolbox full of all these wonderful things, but that doesn't mean that we need all of those tools for whatever job we're doing. And therefore, I made a mention and I showed pictures of Jared wearing his tool belt and having the tools that he needed for that day's job on him. Okay? So that's kind of what this series is about. The series of using the tools that God has given us and that we have inherent, and also that we learn, and how to use them, how to keep them, how to make the best, to keep them sharp, to keep them oiled, all that kind of stuff. And that we need to be using these tools because God calls us to be workers in the field and workers in life. All right. So with that being said, we are now in week 3 of truth. And that is following the truth. I got my little notes right here, right there. Following the truth brings you inner peace, but it may also bring you outer turmoil. Following peace or following truth will bring you inner peace. We talked about the Lord being truth. We talked about Jesus being truth. We talked about how following God is true. And we talked about how that tool that we use, the truth, when we speak it, what happens when we speak it, we're going to be talking about that. We talked about what happens when you follow it, and then the first week or last week was believing in it. So we had the first week was truth, the second week was believing, in the truth. This week right now is following the truth. Next week is speaking the truth and what they bring. Okay? So right now, let's go to following the truth. Following the truth I'm using the scripture John 8:32. Jesus Christ said, "Ye shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free." It will set you free. It will unleash you. It will deshackle you and all that kind of stuff. Unshackle you, release the shackle. And it says that's a wonderful promise that can be taken seriously, especially when you feel the need for some sort of healing. Whether the difficulty is injury, illness, financial hardship, or trouble, relationship, whatever, anything else, following the truth, you'll know the truth and it'll make you free. See, the part that I was talking about that I want to make important to you known is that when you follow the truth, when you follow after God, when you are seeking God and you're following His ways and making sure that that your life is lining up in righteousness and following behind, building that relationship with God, it brings you this inner peace. Now, last week we talked about believing in God, and brings you closer to that peace and brings you contentment. So all three of these things will bring you contentment. So contentment and peace are the things that you're going to receive from believing and following the truth. Contentment and peace. And a lot of us, like last week I said, a lot of us there's always that hole. There's something there, there's that one thing, I don't know what it is, and then we try to fill it with everything. I think that you who are listening, I think, Alicia, that from some of the conversations that we've had, I think you can at least point to one particular or one specific area that, we've talked about with regard to folks that you minister to, that there's a hole in their heart, in their life that they need to fill with Jesus. A lot of hurt has happened to people, a lot of troubles, a lot of trauma, a lot of teaching has come their way that wasn't true, or they've interpreted the things in their life that happen, and that gives them their sense of truth, but it's not real truth. You feel me? So when these people receive this false truth or this lessons and all this other kind of stuff, they shape their lives around it, and they navigate through it, and they learn how to say things, right, and avoid things. Like we've talked about avoidance before. We've talked about how things in your life, if too much pressure hits on you, the first thing you want to do is avoid, back up. If I don't have to deal with this, yay. I can, you know what? This is too much pressure. I don't have to deal with it. All I have to do is dance around it. That's kind of the thing that happens that we were talking about before with troubles. Let me go to that scripture, right? Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. But it like in that part, the second part of that, where it says, especially, where it follows after, especially when you feel the need for some sort of healing from, and if you go down here, troubled relationship, right? If you've had a troubled relationship and sometimes you just want to avoid, right? Sometimes you feel the need to fill a hole that you're missing with people that aren't going to be good for you, but you're used to picking them. You know what I'm saying? You're used to having people in your life. So instead of you dealing with your issue, you'll go ahead. Now, all right. So with all of that, right? What does that mean, Fuzz? Well, the thing is, we are so used to having outer turmoil being a part of our inner circle that we don't know how to let the truth in and push that other stuff out. If we can learn to do that, to push out, all the other stuff and let God in so that we can have inner peace, then we will receive inner peace. When we can push out the lies and push out the teachings and all that stuff and let in truth, then we can have inner peace. Now, the message today that I'm looking for my phone, it's right there. The message today that we went through, that we had at Heartland, and I don't know the pastor's name. I really should look that up. I'll get that to you in a minute. But we were talking about the coming of Jesus, and he was talking. It was a good. I liked him, so I really should have remembered his name. I'm sorry, but he talked about there were 3 levels of revelation to hidden knowledge, because there is knowledge that God will give you that you can know. There's also knowledge that God will give you, but you have to have a deeper relationship. And then there's that hidden knowledge that God won't give you because it'll mess you up until you get to that level of relationship where you can completely trust him, and there's that inner peace and that contentment. And so when he was talking about, he didn't really say that, but when he was talking about that, that's what I heard. That's the thing. I was like, oh, I'm going to add this to what I'm talking about for truth and gaining truth. Okay? Here's what I've got for you. So we are talking about following the truth and believing in the truth and speaking the truth. How do we do that, Fuzz? What, I'm new to this whole God thing. Talk to me. Tell me some stuff. Let me tell you, it's like this. Ask, seek, knock. All right? So I know that you all have seen that, heard that. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I don't know. If you have found that scripture, if you do know that, it's in Matthew, okay, Matthew 7. And it says, ask and it shall be given unto you, seek and you will find, and knock and the door shall be open. Well, the pastor proposed that those are 3 different levels of maturity in relationship with God. And so if we use that, which I want to use that today, if we use that, and of course, the original scripture is ask, but it's not just a one-time ask. It's ask, continually ask, right? That's a level that, and he proposed that it was, you know what? I'm going to look up his name real quick because I'm tired of saying he was. Let's see. It's a shame. I want to be respectful of the pastor and his hard work. And so I'm going to go ahead and look him up. Uh-oh. You don't have it. You don't have it here. There's no way. Uh-oh. Where are you? Where did you go? You got to tell me who your pastor is. I'm online. I don't see where it's at. Let's see. There's a lot. Wow. A lot of information. That's interesting. Oh, here you go. About, let's see, the team. That sounds right. And we are looking at, there you are, Pastor David Olson. There you are. Pastor Dave. How you doing, Dave? There you are. Okay, so Pastor Dave gave the message, and he was talking about how these were different levels, right? Ask, and of course the scripture is actually keep on asking, ask continually. Seek, continually seek always, and keep on knocking at the door, right? And the door will be answered, right? So this is some of the ways that we get to know the truth, because what happens is when you ask, if you ask, you will be answered. God will answer, right? So he's not going to leave you unanswered. If you seek his face, he won't hide from you. It might not be as easy to find because if you're seeking God's face, but you have a predetermined what God is going to look for or look like, God's like, that's not what I look like. I don't. You're looking for answer and money. I don't look like money. If you're really seeking my face, then you have to put some of that stuff away and seek me for real. And what you have to seek, what I'm going to give you is answers. And you're going to have to seek me in truth. You can't go, I'm looking for God, but I'm not really looking for God, but I am, but I'm not. Okay, that's not what's happening. That's not God. He's not going to, but if you're really seeking God's face, if you really want God's answers for the issues and problems and stuff in your life, you'll see it. You'll see his face. You'll see his hands at work and everything. Okay, so there's that whole seeking it in truth, right? Okay, if you ask for real, and you want the answer from God, he'll tell you. But so level 1 is ask, level 2 is seek, level 3 is knock on the door. And look at it like this. Look at it like if you have most of y'all know about clubs and clubbing. All right, check it out. If you go to a club and you ask somebody, right? If you get to the point where you don't get clowned and and you don't get put down and all this other kind of stuff, and you ask a person for their information, name, whatever, right? They can either shut the door, like in that situation, be like, man, you get out of here. You ain't even wearing the right shoes. But if you ask and you get the information, then you get the information. Now, what else do you do afterwards, right? If you really want to know that person, right? If you find that this person might be, I kind of like that person. So you want to find out a little bit more, right? All right. So then you look for them, and you continually look, right? You look, okay, well, what would you like to do here? Are you there? Are you here? Are you there? And then y'all kind of seek, each other. You kind of seek each other out, trying to find out who each other, are and stuff like that. But it's not until you get to the heart, okay, that you start knocking on the heart's doors, right? You have to be in that kind of situation, right? So if you're not going to be in that relationship, you're not going to be trying to get to knocking on the heart's doors, right? If you're looking for love and you're looking for the right kind of love, you know what I'm saying? If you're looking for godly, I don't know if you're going to be in a club. You know what? Let me back off of that. Sometimes people at the church looking for love, they should be looking for Jesus. We ain't going there. That's not this conversation. But if you are getting to a situation where you are in a relationship and you want to get to the door of their heart, or even, and this might sound a little creepy, but you find a person, they give you information. right, Frankie. They give you information, and then you seek them out. You look for them. And if they give you the right information, you'll find them, right? And if they tell you it's cool to drop by, okay. So you could drop by the house all you want, and you can stand outside. You might have found the place, but you're not going to get in or get a response from them unless you knock on the door so they can let you in. You feel me? So that's the whole thing. Like, think about it. You could be in a place and you could be far off, and you can ask all these questions about people and they'll give you answers. But it's not until you seek them out if they find out if you're really interested or not. And then when you get the information and you get the permission to go to the door and knock, then they know your relationship is true. All right? Kind of the same way with God. Ask, and you'll be answered. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be open. So when you do that, when you seek God's face like that, and you start believing in him, there's a contentment that comes over. When you start following him, there's that inner peace that happens. Next week, we're going to be talking about speaking the truth and how it brings life. Let's go to the other scripture. Ephesians 4:14-16. Then we will no longer be immature like children. We will no longer be immature like children. We won't be tossed around and blown about by every wind of new teaching. We will not be influenced when people try to trick us with the lies so clever they sound like the truth. Instead, we will speak the truth in love, growing in every way more and more like Christ, who is the head of his body, the church. He makes the whole body fit together perfectly as each part does its own special work. It helps the other parts grow so that the whole body is healthy and growing and full of love. When you ask, seek, knock, when you believe, follow, speak, we grow up, and we won't be tossed about. Now, a little while ago, we started talking about, I started saying just a couple seconds ago, I started talking about how when there's those lies, right? False truths. And when you get into that thing of avoidance and you don't know how to answer the complications and problems in your life, and when you're so used to backing away or throwing something, in the like somebody points you to, here's an issue, and you go, you're throwing up smoke, and you're doing the whole thing where it's like they ask you a question for an answer, and then you go, how about the Mets? I like the Mets. And you're like, I didn't ask you that. I'm talking about this thing here. You have an issue here. Maybe can we fix that out? Oh, but you know what's really good? Here's a present for your kitten. It's the kind of thing where you just like, huh? Well, those people are void of the truth of God, and they're void of believing in it and following it. And they can't speak it because it's not rooted. Right? So if it's not rooted, you start to see the evidence of it. And when it's not rooted, you hear and see that they are immature like children, and they're tossed around by every wind and teaching, and influenced by people, and by every kind of lie and all that stuff. That's why we have those issues and stuff like that. So I'm here to tell you that the tools that you have in your toolbox as a leader of people, as a children of God, as a follower of Yeshua, right? Yahusha, Adonai, as a member of this family, our job is to make sure that we carry these tools, believing in the truth and having contentment, being content, exercising that, right? Using that tool, living in that peace, knowing what that peace looks like, okay? Exercising that peace, speaking it, right? Speaking all this stuff. And we're going to talk about that next week, about speaking, how it speaks life and stuff. But it's our job to make sure that we keep those tools sharpened, we keep them well oiled, and that we have the right tools for the right job when the time comes. That's what I got for you today. I hope that this has been helpful. I hope that I'm not leaving you with questions. And if I am, hit me up with the questions. I got big shoulders. Hit me. Well, actually, I don't have big shoulders, but I got a fairly strong upper back. Anyway, all right. It's been good to see you guys. I'm glad that you're here. If there's anything that I can answer for you, remember, hit me up. Now it's time to do the whole pay the bills. So here we go. Check this out. Hey guys, if you want to join the team here and sponsor Worship Church Live and Pastor Fuzz and the ministry that we do, go to www.worldoutreach.org/315 and make donations of any type. We will get you the tax information you need, and you can be blessing people just like other people are already. Thank you very much. Be blessed. Not yet. No, you thought it was time, but no. I'm letting you know. I'm letting you know to hang around. And I know, Alicia, you were there. Frankie, you weren't there, but there's other people. The band that's coming up right after what was about to happen, I want you to check out. This is Jeff Arendelle. And I'm watching, if you follow Jeff Arendelle online or whatever, they're in the studio recording and everything. And I just happened to look and forgot to tell you that Jeff is on number 5 or number 4, something like that, on the country charts for one of his songs. Y'all need to check it out. All right, now we can do that. You know what time it is. Remember, I'm fantastic, you're fantastic, and together we can serve a fantastic God. All right now. Give thanks without praise for the Lord. It's a great God, great King above all God. In His hands are the depths of the earth, and the mountain peaks belong to Him, and the sea is His. Let's bow down in worship of the Lord. They fall.